Get started.
I know, we can going.
All right, so you're gonna introduce?
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's already live. So
okay.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Kevin and Mikkel. We are back with another video, and on today's show, we have a special guest. She's a producer, writer, actress, and recently the first Black woman when out and writing a comedy series at the Emmys. And she has a new hit drama show on Showtime that comes on at 10 p.m. The Shy. Please welcome Lena Waithe to The Scorpion Show.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a whole mouthful.
Yes, it was. And he did it in one take.
Yes, I did.
One take.
Yeah, because sometimes I be messing stuff up. But, I had to get it right this time. So, so how are you doing, Lena?
I'm good. I'm busy. You know what I mean? I'm working. I'm trying to earn that Emmy. That's that thing. It's like, you get it. Hold on, see if I can show y'all. Hold on, where is that? It's like up here. Hold on. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna grab it. It's heavy. This is so good.
Wow.
It's like a whole situation.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Is that in your house?
It's in my crib. It's high up though, so I don't look at it every day because then you start thinking you the shit.
So you're the first Black woman to win it, so you better know you the shit.
Right.
Well, I received that. I'm very happy. I'm very honored. But I think I try to keep it out of eyesight because I don't ever want to feel like, oh, that was my moment. Like that was my height. I'm like constantly trying to always be a student and always be humble and always know that I don't have all the answers and that I'm just out here trying to be an artist. So, but because of that lovely trophy, things have been busy. There's been a lot of calls and all that kind of stuff. But I just want to continue to make good work and continue to, see the God in us, when I write the material and make sure we're painted with a beautiful picture, but also that I don't leave out the flaws.
Now, let me ask you this, because it's interesting that you said that since winning the trophy, you're getting a lot of calls. Now, I'm sure you are aware of what's going on right now in Hollywood with Monique and the whole, pay for Black women and whatever the case
right.
is. Now, have you experienced any of that since joining that illustrious group of people in Hollywood? Like, have you experienced that, I got to fight a little bit harder, I got to work 10 times harder? Or have you experienced that, having to prove yourself with different studios, to get certain projects made?
I feel like I'm always having to prove myself. I feel like this industry is just a constant game of proving yourself. Because the truth is, you're only as good as your last project.
Amen.
And so I feel like nobody. It's interesting because like as the Oscars are upon us, and once they happen, that then people are on to who's going to win the next thing. Like it's like it's a beautiful moment, and you have that moment in the sun is great, but then right after it, like I'm telling you, like even right after the telecast, they're like, okay, great. Then they start to look to next year's Emmys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always still proving myself. And even like right after the morning after I won the Emmy, I had to go to work. I had to keep doing the things that I'm doing. There's no resting on that trophy. I'm always running. I'm always trying to convince people like I know what I'm doing. Trust me. Although I will say with the Emmy came a little bit more trust, and folks are like, okay, we want to work with you. We want to get in there. But I'm still always the girl who feels like I got to convince people to let me do what I do.
Okay. I get it. Okay.
Wait, I'm trying to make sure that.
You got it? Okay.
Is everything still clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was just trying to make sure because it started to cut out at the end a little bit. So right now, for those who don't know, which I already said, on Sunday nights at 10 p.m., you have a new show that comes on called The Shy. And again, it's at 10 p.m.
Yes.
I gotta get everyone to watch it because I love this show. And every time this show goes off, I get upset because it gets really, really good. And then be like, I need some extended episodes. Right. But what was the inspiration for you writing The Shy?
I was living here in Los Angeles about 3 years ago, and there was just a lot of news stories coming out about Chicago, a ton. I was watching the news a lot. I was reading the newspapers a lot, and there was just this stigma around the city that it was just a jungle and that little Black boys were just heartless and soulless. And I felt, and also my family still lives in Chicago, and that's where I go home to on the holidays. So I felt a real connection to the city, and I just kind of felt like the people that were talking about it are foreigners. They've never survived the winter there. They never went to public school there. They never grew up in their grandma's house there. And so I have a real, not just a love for the city, but a knowing. I know the people there. I know the guys. And I think I also felt really sensitive about Black men because they really have been demonized. And I think when you demonize us and dehumanize us, you become desensitized to our deaths. And I think that is really problematic. And so what I really wanted to do was to humanize the people of Chicago. And look, and I'm also not shying away from what happens in Chicago. I'm aware of that. I don't want to sugarcoat things. But what I wanted to show was, you know, that every little Black boy is not born with a gun in his right hand and a pile of drugs in his left. Everybody ain't trying to get out the hood. That's the thing. If I wasn't doing this, I'd still be in Chicago. Like, I love the city that made me who I am. So I think, you know, I was like, I don't want no drug dealers. I don't want no rappers. I don't want no basketball players. I'm like, I just want people that's working class and trying to get to work and raise their kids and go to church every Sunday. Those are the folks I know. So I really want to paint that picture. And I also want to show how interconnected we all are. Because I think sometimes the person you need the most, you haven't even met yet. And I think that was the thing I really wanted to kind of capture, you know, in the pilot of like having Brandon journey his way to Kevin and how that all happened. And so that was just really important to me, was to really show the city in a true way, because no one really who's from the city has ever really written about it. And so I just found it important. I thought it was my responsibility. And I'm so happy that Showtime came aboard right away, and Common was like, I want to be a part of this. And then folks really seemed to respond to the show right away.
Well, see, you and I were talking right before we started going live, and we were talking about the similarities between Chicago and Philadelphia. And I agree with you that I feel like a lot of foreigners who are not familiar with Philly, who've never been to Philly, they have this, you know, the stigma because of the things that they hear about the city of Philadelphia on the news or on social media. And for us, it's kind of like, you know, well, like you said, I've survived all 31 winters since I've been walking this earth, and you know, it's fine. But with you creating the Chi, were you at any point ever concerned that there might be a bit of a backlash from some residents from Chicago? You know, because, you know, some people can somehow see things and get a little offended by saying, oh, well, you know, she's painting this picture and that's not. But did you ever think that maybe you would get a backlash from the residents out there?
Of course, you know, because the truth is everybody experiences their city differently, you know, and so my lens, the way I experienced Chicago, I had a real strong sense of community. So some people may say, well, I didn't, I was in a hood and it was violent. Like, okay. Or some people may say, I grew up in the suburbs and I never experienced any of that at all. I think I really kind of grew up in the middle. And I always say the way my upbringing was, I never had everything I wanted, but I never wanted for anything.
Wow.
And so I think that was my experience. And so, and I think usually when you're in the middle, there's a lot of common ground. But I've been really blessed. I mean, from people who hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, and I'm very responsive. People that hit me because I feel like art is a relationship between the artist and the audience. So people hit me up and say, yo, I really like it. I really dig it. You know, you've really captured us. You know, and I think my mission is to continue to listen to folks who go like, well, don't forget to put this in there. Or remember, this is a thing too. Great. As we wait for our season 2 pickup, well, as soon as we get it, like I want to go into the room and make sure I incorporate all those things. Because I got to listen to Chicagoans. Because ultimately, you know, this is a story about us. So if they tweet me and say, don't forget there's a thing about school closures, or this is a thing that's happening, you know, on the West Side that people aren't talking about, please, I appreciate the tweets, because I want to make sure I take your tweets into the writer's room and make sure we incorporate that into the show.
Now, how many episodes will we be seeing this season for the Chi?
10.
10 episodes.
And that's about all I can handle. That's a lot.
But that's the norm. That's the norm.
Yeah.
That's the norm.
Some people do 13.
Right.
Networks do like 20 something.
Right.
It's a lot producing episodes of television. It takes a lot out of you. But I feel like 10 was a nice sweet spot. And I feel like we make a lot happen in this first season. So I'm sure hopefully season 2 will be no different.
Let me just say, go ahead, because I got something to say to her. And she is coming.
I know. It's coming right now. But listen, I just love how the lives are interconnected with each other, because as you were talking about with Brandon and Kevin, and I believe the guy name is Ronnie, who killed the guy in the beginning. I just love how all of their lives are connected. But I'm really sensing that, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm sensing like a connection, a real connection between Brandon and Kevin, kind of like a mentor relationship. That's if he survives next week, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
I know, man. It gets rough in the Chi.
Oh yeah, I just really love it. And then Jacob Lattimore character, him being now him being the single father and everything. Like, is are any of these characters? Do you know any of these characters, or these are just? I'm not just saying you made them up, but are any of these people you wrote them in mind that you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're definitely fictitious characters, but Emmett, like I went to school with so many guys like him. You know, I got a friend who he's kind of loosely based on, who he has 2 children. They're the same age and they are by 2 different women. And he and I went to high school, you know what I'm saying?
So what's new?
Look, well, you know what? He really, it's funny because he flew out from Chicago to LA to come to the Shy premiere. Because he's like my brother, you know, and we went to junior high together as well. And he was he was out there, in these streets, and he's like, a party promoter and got the Yeezys on and got the fresh this and that. And the thing about it is I think somebody could look at him, hear that, and judge him immediately. And I know him. I know his heart. And I know that, and also he also is very involved in his kid's life. Lives. He's like they always on the Instagram, like that's his thing. But I think people don't know his heart. They just know the statistic. They hear the numbers and they go, oh, okay, he's out here just having sex and don't care. It's like, look, is he out there? Maybe a little bit, but his life is valid and he's not a bad human being because of that. And I also think there's something about our society that sort of, I think, pushes that in terms of what it means to be a man, or our definition of Black male masculinity, in terms of like how many girls you got, how many kids you got, that kind of thing. And so I think there's an element of sort of them sort of almost being a product of that, and then winding up with responsibilities that maybe they weren't ready for necessarily because they were out here trying to, be the big dog. So, but, and also all the characters are loosely based on people I know. I mean, I grew up with a kid named Cookie, who I still don't know his real name, but he's light skinned, curly hair, and he was on the block. And we just, he was the baby. He was the youngest of the block. And so I definitely pulled from that. The grandmother is based on my grandmother, who is now art in heaven. May God rest her soul. Everything. That's the Ethel was my grandmother, from watching the Judges to, with the rifle, all that kind of craziness. And that southern background. I really pulled from my friends and my family. And Brandon, there's a lot of me in Brandon. Brandon is dating the girl from the right side of the tracks. He's got family stuff he's dealing with, caught between 2 worlds. Got the white boss that he got to use that language with, and then go home and got to use a different one. Like, I really know. I think a lot of us know that, and so I really wanted to show what that's like, about how we all sometimes got to shape shift, during our day. And so there were a lot of things I put myself in there, but I know a lot of these folks, and Jada is very loosely much based on my mother, in terms of her being laid back, but being frustrated with my sister and I, and, coming home and being too exhausted to yell. That was a big thing. I was like, I don't want Jada just like yelling and screaming. I'm like, Emmett's on his 3rd kid. This ain't nothing new to her. So she can still be frustrated. And she's also someone that would name her child Emmett after Emmett Till. And so what that says about that household and who she is. So for me, I just really like to find the colors and to really create a lot of areas of gray with these characters.
Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm very upset that you killed off Coogie because I saw a lot of potential in his character. I really did. I saw his character going really far in the show. And when he died, I was like, wait a minute, I know the fuck. He did not just kill that boy. I was at work watching it like, is this for real?
I love that you were at work watching it. That's my favorite.
Well, see, I work overnight, so that's when I catch up on all my shows. Yeah. So I'm watching. Let me tell you something, honey. I catch up on everything over there. I'm like your grandmother. People score everything. But I was just like, I know, and I told Kevin, I was like, I am really upset by this. Like, I'm hurt because I feel like you, like I started getting really connected to these characters. Even in the first episode, you're like, I feel like I know these people personally. Like, it just didn't really make any sense to me how fast I really gravitated to these characters, because it really didn't feel like a show. It felt like I was watching something happening right here in the streets of Philadelphia. And I felt like I really knew these people. But I will say this to you. Okay. Are you listening?
Yes.
Okay. Season 2, right? Because you say you like to listen to people on Twitter tell you. Season 2, right? You can write in a character and call me if you need me to come and play this character for one episode. And
I would love to see it.
I will be there, honey. Okay.
I would love to see it. I'm trying to get into the acting.
This is the recording.
Yes.
So when I call, We're gonna make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen, and I'll pay for my own plane ticket. Okay.
Oh no, I got you on that.
Listen, even if it's just one episode, because I want to get out. I want to get out there and really be like, listen here to Shy. Okay.
And I know because I've been watching this show for a long time, so I know about the dreams. I know what you got. You know about these award shows. You know your history.
Listen,
I'm like, look,
yes,
come on,
okay.
I got you.
So just one episode. I can die at the end of the episode. I don't care. Just one episode.
Well, I don't know if we want to kill you, but look, I got you, and that's good. Thank you for planting that because I always, that's good. I got you.
I can be that visiting cousin from Philly.
Come on. We got a lot of those. We got a lot of those.
Right.
Go
ahead now. Go ahead about Master of None because I.
Oh yeah, well wait. But before we get to Master of None, because I know we got a limited amount of time. Damn it, I just slipped my mind. Wait a minute, say that again. No, the Shy.
Yeah.
Can you give us a sneak peek of what's going to happen for Sunday night? For episode 4?
For episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, here's the deal. Episode 4 is gonna be interesting because something does happen. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll give you. Somebody gets shot. Somebody gets shot, but I'm not gonna tell you who. And the episode is going to play with memory and time, and you'll be surprised at who does the shooting. That's what I'll say.
No.
But that's real. That's real.
These kids, I'm thinking a kid now. Oh my God, these kids. Okay, I don't want to talk about.
I love the kids too. Alex Hibbert is phenomenal as Kevin. He's amazing. I'm so glad we got him. Obviously, loved him in Moonlight.
Yes,
he's amazing.
He's
awesome.
Amazing. He's awesome.
He's fantastic, and you can he does so much with his face, and he's so in it. I mean, also the whole cast is obviously living in Chicago for that whole time, and he just kind of felt like a Chicago kid because the kids opposite him obviously live in Chicago. They're locals, and so he really kind of fit right in. And to go back to what you were saying about Coogie, what I really want to do with that, because one, I love that character. Coogie's and the actor is phenomenal.
Yes.
That filming the funeral scene was hard. It was hard to see him in that casket. And Jason Mitchell is amazing. He auditioned with that eulogy scene, and that's when we knew he was our Brandon, because he was so emotionally invested. And by the time we got to the funeral scene, we all had been spending time with each other, so it was very emotional for all of us. But I think the reason why I want to do that is because I wanted to put the audience in the position of a Chicagoan. Is that or someone who's in Philadelphia or someone, because that's what happens is that you got a friend, you got a homie, you got a cousin, and you're just chilling one day or you're having lunch or you're goofing around, and then the next thing you know, in an instant, they can be gone. And so I think it was obviously a bold choice to do that in the pilot, but I think it's one of the things I'm really proud that Showtime let me do it, and they left it in, and because I really wanted to make people feel like they were in Chicago. And that's unfortunately a reality.
When that episode caught me, and I was like, I'm watching every episode, and it just I'll be so upset when every episode ends. I promise you, I'll be so upset. But so everyone, make sure you guys watch The Shy Sunday nights, 10 p.m. on Showtime. Now, if you don't,
and they can go to my Instagram because I have a special limited time thing right now where if you go use my name as the code, you get a 30-day free trial of Showtime. Because I understand, folks will hit me up on Twitter. They're like, yo, it's either HBO or Showtime. Says,
listen, because they are high.
Come on, what's up? And so I'm like, okay. So I hit Showtime, and they're so cool. And they've been, I mean, our numbers were higher on week 3 than they were the first two nights. So we're really grateful to the audiences and to people that have been talking about it and tweeting about it. Gabrielle Union hit me. She always hits me. It's like, yo, me and D, we always watching it. So it's across the board. We really appreciate the support. So I asked Showtime to let me hook some folks up, and they were like, all right, because we want to really show that love right back. And folks have been sharing that code. So it's like, apparently, Showtime was like, we got a lot of, we giving a lot of Showtime away. But look, we're going to do it, and we're going to help folks out because I know how it is.
Right.
So on Master or None, you played the character Denise.
Yes.
Now, to me, you were in and out the episodes. I love seeing you on there, but of course, to me, it was more about Aziz's character, Dev, and I guess his rise through getting into acting and things like that. Now, on season 2, episode 8, because everybody's spoiling the shit for me. I mean, everybody knows you got to watch the Thanksgiving episode. I'm like, damn, I'm still in season 1, and I finally get there. I loved that episode. I watched it twice. It
Wow.
was just, first of all, Angela Bassett. I'm like, oh my God, Angela Bassett is in this.
Come on.
And then Kim Whitley, Kim Whitley in another episode. I've seen her in another Thanksgiving episode on the Cleveland show a long time ago, and that's one of my favorite episodes. Yes. And
Melina Masukis, my boo.
Yes, that's the director. She's been doing everybody, doing everything. But I wanted to know, how did you two decide, well, you know what, let's dedicate an episode to your character? I believe it's loosely based on your life. How did y'all get that together?
It's thinly veiled version of my life. I mean, it is my life. It is my coming out story, like on TV. It's interesting because we, you know, with something like that, particularly with this show, with Master of None, Aziz and Alan want to hear from us, the actors. They're like, talk to us. What's going on in your world? What's going on in your life? And so when I came to New York prepared, talking about, you know, stuff with me and my lady, I was like, oh, maybe Denise will have a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. So I was always taking notes every time we got into a fight, anytime something random happened. And so I came in with all that stuff. I had my list ready. And then Alan, just like randomly, he asked me, he said, hey, how did you come out? Like, what was that experience? And I started just going and just talking about it and doing impressions of my mom, doing impressions of my grandmother, doing impressions of my aunts, you know, and they were just like, wow, that's interesting. And then I went back to my hotel and they both called me and they're like, we have to do that as an episode. And also because for them, they're really about things that we haven't seen before. And they're like, we've never seen a Black woman come out on television. And I was like, really? That hasn't happened? And they were like, no. And so I was like, all right. I was like, I don't know if my story is that interesting, but yeah, I guess because it's mine. I was like, okay. But a big thing I really wanted to convey, and I said this to them then, I think there's a stigma that goes where people figure, oh, if you're a Black person, you come out, your parents throw the Bible at you. Yeah. And that wasn't the case. Like, my family can't quote the Bible to save their life. Right. They can't. They go to church, but they like lazy Christian. And my mom, for my experience, it was more about, well, it's about keeping up with the Joneses. Like, or what are the neighbors going to think? Or I must have failed in some way. Or, you know, she basically got a daughter she didn't bargain for. Right. And the thing I try to tell people is that it's less about, I think it's really about, it's generational, because people got to remember, my mom was born into a segregated America. She was born in 1953. So for her, what it means to be a good Black person is to not make white people uncomfortable. That's what that means. So as I'm coming out to her, she's thinking, oh, well, then you're going to make society uncomfortable. You're going to change the energy when you walk into a room, or I don't want life to be hard for you. You're already a Black woman. Now you want to add something else to that. I mean, those are actual things she said to me, like right away. That was the concern. Even too, it's so specific how some people have noticed it. And I wrote this into the action lines, is that as soon as I come out, she looks around to see who's heard versus looking at me to see how I'm doing. This is a very difficult thing for me to do, to come out. And that's my mom. Like Angela Bassett, it's as if she knew her, because it's the always like beat and the hair and the outfits and, you know, very feminine and, you know, walks through the world a certain way. And I think I really kind of shook something in her. And a big thing was I didn't want to villainize her at all, because she is not a villain. She's someone who doesn't know how to deal with that. And I didn't want to be a hero because I didn't know how to deal with it, you know, because I really did come out to her in a diner because I didn't want to do it at home. Wow. You know, and I couldn't do it until I had moved out to LA. I was living in Los Angeles by the time I came out. And also, too, those conversations that you see between her and the aunt are the kind of conversations that were happening back in Chicago that my sister.
We all can relate to that, because I've seen, like, I'm like, damn, this is some of my life right here. But it's just, it was good to see it come from a Black female standpoint, because, you know, you don't really see it. What you hear, and actually for females, it's more accepting. So to see what you were going through, it was great to see that, because with me, it was just like, well, I ain't got time. I know I ain't got enough time to talk about my own story, but the shit was crazy. But all I wanted was the same Kevin that you knew before is the same Kevin that you get now. Yeah. And over time, I mean, it's been like 17 years since I came out. Like, you know, everything. Oh, okay. It's about 10 years for me. Yeah. But, you know, some things I don't discuss with them as I discuss with my friends. But, you know, this is not about
same. No, same. I'm the same way. Yeah, but
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that both of y'all are gay? Am I sitting here listening to this?
What? No. Right. You know, it's like, because I seriously said that word. I was like annoyed that I had to come out. I was like frustrated. Right. And I think my sister was like, but you gotta have a conversation. But that's the thing. It's like, that's the thing about Black families. Is that, like, the fact that I would have to come out because they're so, it's such not a part of their thought process or their world. And it's true. Like, I never heard the word gay in my house or lesbian in my house. And I think, and that's problematic because I'm wondering, what do I call myself? What am I? I feel different. I'm looking for myself in the culture and don't see it. You know, I saw Set It Off. I saw Cleo. I was like, okay, that's I can recognize some of that. Who's that? You know? So it's like I would see pieces of myself, or even The Color Purple with the Whoopi moment and the Suge thing. I would always see little glimmers. And so I think, and I get a lot of love because people hit me and go like, man, like, because also I'm not just a lesbian, but I'm masculine presenting. I'm like a soft stud, which is a whole different thing. That's also
a whole new language for me.
Oh yeah, you know, it's like, that's like my mom is like, so, because if I was like a lipstick lesbian, she'd probably be much happier because then folks wouldn't know. But I'm like, that's not how I'm comfortable. That's not how I get down. And so, and I think that, and also she really did say, she's like, don't tell your grandma, all that kind of stuff. But I think that's why it's so important for me to be an out Black public person, because I think, and I've said this, and I'm not trying to tell nobody how to live their life, but it's like, it can't just be me, Wanda Sykes, Samira Wiley, and RuPaul.
Right.
You know, Black Hollywood, the numbers don't add up. And and for everybody that says, I'm just so grateful to you for being you and this and that. And I think and it's so interesting because me telling my story and me being gay as hell and out as hell is the reason why I have that trophy. You know what I'm saying? It's like that audience stood to their feet to celebrate a queer Black woman. And so I'm hoping I can continue to be an example where other folks who are in the industry that don't want to be completely public, I hope that I can at some point continue to lead by example and convince them to be who they are as well. Because I do think it's our responsibility to be a light at the end of the tunnel for some of these little queer kids living in these little whole bunk towns who think that something's wrong with them or that they're not going to have a happy ending. And I do think that just us being happy and living our lives and being visible is extremely important to those kids. And so I do it for them.
Let me tell you something, Lena, real quick. You just wrote my character on next season.
Oh, yeah. Brandon got to get cut.
Listen, I'm telling you, I'm there. I'm there.
He's struggling with it, but Jerica loves him. You Jerica's fan. You and Jerica.
There.
You and Jerica have a key. Look, I got you, man. I'm gonna look you up.
All right.
I would love to see this happen.
All right.
I got
it. Listen, now, Lena, I want to say thank you for coming on our show. I know we're pressed for time. But look, I can't wait to meet you. I know Mikkel feels the same way.
I want to meet y'all too.
Everyone, you can follow Lena on Instagram and Twitter at Lena Waithe. What's your Facebook?
It's Lena Waithe. I have the weirdest name. I'm the only Lena Waithe, I think, on the planet. So
all down the page.
Google like Lena Waithe. That's my Twitter. That's my Insta. That's my Facebook. And I'm gonna tell y'all, like, I've been watching y'all for years. I just think y'all are so great. I was like, I know the little stuff, like, you know, with Kevin with his gallons of water and his whole like routine.
Right here.
Come on, you got it. You got it. Get the gallon, okay? Yeah. Okay. But Kel, here's the other thing too.
A little cup.
Come on. Here's the other thing too. I hate when y'all be whispering because I be like, it should be something for special subscribers who've been subscribing for a long time. Where we get the drop of what this is, because you do it all the time. You be like, I want to know the tea.
Let me tell you, some of this tea I be spilling, you be like, child.
No, I need it. I need it too.
Let me tell you something. When I come out there to meet you, when we start to film that episode, because I'm putting it out in the atmosphere, I'm gonna share some stuff with you, okay?
Please. And I want to, and here's the other thing too, we'll talk offline, but I want to know how I can be helpful to y'all too, because I still think y'all, because you know, I love Jesus and Meryl, I love them, but I'm like, wow, y'all can be on that same platform. Like, I think y'all been doing this for a long time, and I think that there's a real platform and a real space for y'all, because I think people need to hear you guys' opinions about what's going on in the world. And I think, and I love to hear it. You know, I have y'all on all the time. That's how I get my news sometimes. I'm like, oh wait, what happened? Oh wait, what? Sometimes news about people I know come up in the hot topic. But we're not gonna speak on today, okay?
Don't be upset.
But you know, I just go, okay, all right, but I received that. Okay, okay, got it. So I'm watching. And y'all already know, like, a lot of us out here, we really watch y'all. We love y'all. Y'all already know that. But I want to know, please, I've been thinking, like, these guys are so great and so good. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, but we want to help y'all get on that TV screen and make sure the whole world knows about y'all, because y'all are that dope.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to be on set. I'm going to keep saying it. I just can't wait.
We're going to bring you to Chicago. Come on.
Okay. Listen, I ain't got nothing but time.
Let's get it.
All right. So thank you again, Lena. Thank you again for all the support.
Thanks,
we love you on the Scorpion Show. And I can't wait to see the next episode. And I'm going to tell you something. If somebody else dies that I'm connected to, I will hit you up and let you know.
You can hit me. You can hit me. And I'll make sure I'll make sure my people make sure y'all have my cell or whatever. I think Kevin, you might have it, or I'll DM you or something. So y'all just like stay let's stay connected.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.